Good evening, lads, and welcome back to another video. It is AFC Joe here, and I am joined by the one and only Zach, who runs LFC Fan Channel on Instagram. If you are a Liverpool fan, obviously go follow him. So, it is that time again. It's the World Cup season. Unfortunately, this time there's no barbecues and sun alongside the football, but the wait is finally over when Qatar take on Ecuador on Sunday. We're here to do our predictions on who's going to get out the groups and who's going to, win, and how the knockouts will all play out and everything. And as always, obviously comment your thoughts down in the comments section. And yeah, let's just get into the video. So, in Group A, we have Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal and Holland. Now Zach, who are you going with? Who is going through from Group A?
So I think Holland will top the group,
Yeah.
and I think Senegal will come second.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty easy.
That is literally exactly what I've gone for as well. I reckon Holland will come top because they are by far and away the best team in the group. They've got some talent in there. Louis van Gaal's back. They did well when he was there before. They'll have a massive point to prove as well. People forget that this is actually their first World Cup since 2014, where you have the Van Persie diving header, Arjen Robben working his magic. And yeah, I think this is a big one for them. Potential dark horses as well. They are playing very, very well. I think they're probably one of the stronger European nations at the moment based on form. And obviously we've got Senegal, who are, the Africa Cup of Nations winners at the minute. They've got some well-established, experienced players who do have tournament experience, such as Sadio Mane and Kalidou Koulibaly, and I think that should be enough to get them over the line. Now, in Group B, we have England, Wales, the United States of America, and Iran. Zach, who is going to go through?
I'm going to go with England top, and I think a lot of you would agree. I know we might not go much further on in the knockouts, but I think we'll top the group. Wales will come second, but I don't think we'll walk the group because, we're England. We never seem to...
We never take 9 out of 9. No. Never, ever. Yeah, I'm also going to go with England top and Wales second. I think that the US's team is a bit too young and inexperienced. It is their first World Cup since 2014. They do have a few decent players, obviously, in that team, but I just think Wales, they've got some of the Welsh players have a bit more experience in there. I mean, they did get to the round of 16 in the Euros. They did play against teams who on paper looked a bit better than them, like Switzerland and obviously Turkey. They did manage to get out of that group, obviously got spanked by Denmark afterwards, but yeah, I think they should go through. And obviously with England, we are playing awfully right now. We are playing awfully, in terrible form, but if you look at the team on paper, we should be taking 9 points out of 9. Whether we will or not is a different thing, but we should be top in this group. Now, for Group C, we have got Argentina, Mexico, Saudi Arabia and Poland. Zach, who's going through in that one?
Argentina are going to top, and I think you all agree with me on that one. Messi, obviously this is his last World Cup, and the Argentinian squad is a bit better than the rest. And this is an interesting one. Joe has gone for Mexico, but I've gone for Poland. Because obviously you said Mexico, good in international tournaments, often get out of the groups. I just got to back Poland. I looked through their team the other day. I think they've got quite a few better players on paper, and obviously they've got Lewandowski up top.
Yeah, obviously I'm going with Argentina top. Yeah. Mexico, I reckon will come second because they just always seem to get to the round of 16 at World Cups. There's this curse that they have called the fifth game, which is where they can never seem to reach the quarterfinals, but always they do seem to get to the round of 16. I think with Poland, they've just been pretty bad at recent major tournaments. They do have a fairly strong side on paper if you look at some of their players like Lewandowski, Piotr Zielinski at Napoli as well. Obviously a great talent, but I'm not sure that they're going to go through from this one, and that's why I'm backing Mexico to come second in the group. Now, in Group D, we've got Australia, Tunisia, France and Denmark. Zach?
Well, pretty simple again. France top the group, Denmark second. Yes, you could say, well, obviously Denmark, they beat France in recent matches, but I just look at that French squad. Yes, there's no Pogba and Kante, but Tchouaméni and Camavinga could be a good midfield pairing. They're stacked in defence, they're stacked in attack, and I just think they'll have the edge over Denmark in the group. And obviously Tunisia and Australia, yeah, they're not going to go through, are they?
Yeah, I don't think it's as obvious as some people make it out to be, but I do think France will come top. Obviously, on paper, they have the strongest team, current world champions. They have got a big point to prove. Although, having said that, there is a curse where the world champions always get knocked out in the groups afterwards. If you look at Germany in 2018,
Yeah.
Spain in 2014, I think Italy in 2010, what was there? Brazil obviously didn't get knocked out in 26, but I swear France got knocked out in the groups as well in like 2002. So there is that curse that exists. I do still think France will
Yeah.
come top, and Denmark I think will come second as well. They've got a pretty strong team in very, very good form recently. They look well drilled, well organised, plenty of talent in there. So yeah, France top, Denmark second. Now in Group E we have got Costa Rica, Japan, Germany and Spain. Zach?
So this one, a lot of people may say Spain, they'll finish above Germany, but no, I think Germany finished top, Spain second. I just think that German team on paper is slightly better. I know it's basically Bayern Munich FC, but that's a good thing. They've got Gnabry, got Sane, Musiala's been balling out this season, Thomas Müller. Yes, the Germany's defence is a bit, bar Rudiger, there isn't many standout names in there, but I just think they have that cutting edge up top, and I think they're better than Spain.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Germany top and Spain second as well. I think the thing is with Germany, I think they're obviously a team that you can never write off in major tournaments. Don't ever do that. They haven't done great in the past couple of tournaments, but I do think this time they will come top of the group. I think they've obviously got a very, very strong team, as Zach said. They've got players like Musiala, who has been in excellent form for Bayern recently. Obviously got Gnabry, Sané. Yeah, exactly. They've got a lot of great talent in there, and I think with Spain, I just think you look at their attack, they've just not really got many sort of, I don't know.
They did do well in the Euros then.
Yeah, they did all right at the Euros, but they've not really got any sort of standout attackers really. Obviously they're pretty stacked with talent in midfield, but yeah, I'm not really sure that they'll finish above Germany. I think Germany will have that edge. I think they're just a bit better.
And also, there's two big standouts from the Spain squad. No Thiago, not that he does get picked for every tournament, but that's a big miss I think for Spain. And no Sergio Ramos, which is very interesting because a lot of people think
misses,
be his last World Cup.
Now, moving on to Group F, we have got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and the runners-up from last time, Croatia. Zach, who are you going with to go out with this group?
A lot of people would probably say Belgium, because you think about their squad, you think Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne, you think they're top. But no, I'm going to go Croatia, because Hazard and Lukaku, they haven't been the same players for the last several seasons. Vertonghen and Alderweireld, they're still the same centre-back pairing, they're aging. And I think De Bruyne, and if he doesn't turn up or he doesn't have players to play the ball to and provide goals for, I don't think they'll go through. And Croatia do have a good team, littered with experienced players, and obviously they all end in itch. So yeah, I think they'll go through.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Croatia top, Belgium second.
Yeah.
I think the Belgium team has really declined recently, and they don't seem to have loads and loads of great young players that are coming up either. So I think maybe it might be sort of an end of an era of sort of, Belgium. Yeah, exactly. And I think that Croatia are a bit better than Belgium at the minute. Obviously, we cannot forget about Luka Modric and other younger players like Josko Gvardiol is another standout name for Croatia. I think with Belgium, they just got a lot of very sort of old players. I mean, they should obviously get second place, but I just think their era of being able to compete for World Cups and European Championships, it's over now, isn't it, really? Now, moving on to Group G, we have Brazil, probably one of the bookies' favourites to win the tournament. Then we've also got Cameroon, Serbia and Switzerland. Zach, who are you going with?
Well, this is an interesting one. I think Brazil will finish top. I think we all can agree on that. But Serbia and Switzerland are two very good teams. Serbia's got the likes of Mitrovic, Milinkovic-Savic, Vlahovic, obviously Switzerland, Shaqiri, Xhaka, Kanjin, Jan Sommer in goal. But I'm just going to go with Serbia. I looked at their team the other day, and I think it's just a bit better than the Switzerland team, and it has that cutting edge up top, strikers who are in good form. Mitrovic has been brilliant this season in the Premier League. I just think Serbia slightly. And obviously Cameroon, not good players on paper, but I've heard something like the manager couldn't pronounce their names properly, and they've been a bit of a mess recently, so I don't think they have a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brazil top, obviously. I don't think there's any arguments for that. They will take 9 points out of 9 for that. But I'm going to disagree with you, Zach. I'm going to go with Switzerland. Like Mexico before, I think they're a team that always seem to do okay for a country of their size. at major tournaments. They always
Well,
seem
they beat
to.
France, didn't they? in the
Yeah,
last
exactly. Well, obviously got to the quarter-finals of the last Euros. Always do seem to get to the round of 16 in all the other major tournaments. I mean, they've got a decent bunch of players. Obviously, we can't forget about Granit Xhaka,
Yeah.
the GOAT in
He's
midfield.
been arguably one of your best players this season.
Exactly, yeah. Obviously, Manuel Akanji, top centre half who plays for Man City.
Human calculator.
Very, very solid. Then we've also got players like Shaqiri as well, who is it?
Chicago, isn't it now?
Sure,
Goes to
yeah.
America,
Yeah, very good player for the Swiss national team. Obviously, Zerdan Shaqiri. I just think Switzerland will have that cutting edge, just because I think they do seem to almost understand each other, the players, a bit better. They've obviously been playing together for quite a while, so
Yeah.
I do think that sort of
Fair enough.
chemistry that they have in that team will get them over the line. Now then, for the final group, we have got Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea and Ghana. Zach?
So, this is an interesting one, because a lot of people would probably put Portugal top, with it being Ronaldo's last World Cup, but I'm going to go with Uruguay. The reasons why are, Portugal never really seemed to play well as a team. Obviously, this whole thing going on with Ronaldo at the moment, and there could be a bit of tension in the squad. And then I just look at Uruguay. They got Valverde being in fine form this season. Nunes is finding his feet. The experience of Suarez and Cavani. Bentancur's been brilliant this season. Uruguay's defence is good. I just think they will just finish top of the group. It won't be by much, but just, I reckon. Don't you reckon so?
Well, we shouldn't forget about how Uruguay obviously knocked out Portugal of the last World Cup
Exactly.
2-1 thanks to a brace from Edinson Cavani, but I'm going to disagree with you, Zach. I'm going to go with Portugal top. I do think they have so many stars in that team. Whether they'll go much further than that, obviously you'll have to wait and see in the video. But yeah, I think Portugal do have a lot of stars in that team. Obviously, we can't forget about Ronaldo up top.
Bernardo Silva,
Fernandez, Rafa Leao.
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. He is a top winger. And I'll put Uruguay second just because I think that Portugal are better than Uruguay.
So, for the round of 16, the first match is Netherlands against Wales. And for me, this is a pretty easy decision. I'm going to go to the Netherlands. I think I have too much for Wales. Netherlands' defence is rock solid, full of experience in there and a bit of young talent. The midfield's decent and so is the attack. Whereas with Wales, bar Gareth Bale and Kiefer Moore, they don't really have many standout players who could really propel themselves on past the round of 16. Argentina or Denmark is the next one. Argentina are going to win. That is one of the easiest ones to pick. Yes, Denmark, they are a good side. They did do well in the Euros, but Argentina have too much for them, and they've been on that phenomenal run recently. Germany against Belgium, quite a close match. However, I still think Germany will pull through. Belgium, they had their chances at 2018. They had their chances at the 2021 as well. And their, so say, golden generation of players, the Lukaku's, the Hallards and stuff, is starting to peter out. De Bruyne is really their only main threat, and maybe Tielemans too, and that Jeremy Doku if he goes as well. But bar that, they won't go through. Brazil, Portugal, that is an interesting one. Could be quite close, but I think Brazil have too much. Martinelli, Vinicius, Neymar, Richarlison, Gabi Jesus, and Rodrigo, and players like this in attack will just probably tear that Portugal backline to shreds. The midfield's decent. Fabinho hasn't been at his best, still a good player. Casemiro's good as well. Obviously, you've got Marquinhos and Thiago Silva at the back, experienced centre-back pairing who played previously at PSG. So I think they'll go through, and obviously Addison in goal, the best keeper in the planet. And England versus Senegal. So England versus Senegal is an interesting one, because I do think England will go through, but Senegal will put up a fight. They won the African Cup of Nations. They got Sadio Mane, who on his day is a very good footballer. Edouard Mendy, he's a decent shot stopper. He can do the job, and obviously Koulibaly in the defence. All right, so France versus Poland. A lot of people may say, oh, look what happened to Germany, look what happened to Spain. They got knocked out in the early rounds after they won the World Cup previously. But I still think France will have too much for Poland. Well, look at France's squad. You've got Nkunku, you've got Benzema, Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Saliba, Varane, Konate, Lucas Hernandez. It's littered with talent. And yes, Poland are a decent side, but France will have too much. Spain versus Croatia, that is another close one. Croatia are a very good team, but I still think Spain will have too much for them. I think Spain's quality will shine through, and that Croatia team has a lot of experience, but there are a lot of Asian players in there. And the final one, Uruguay versus Serbia. I pretty much think that's the easiest one out of all of them. Uruguay win. Yes, Serbia, few key players, but come on. Look at that Uruguay team. That Uruguay team is going to do well this tournament.
Okay, so on to me now. So the first game obviously, that I had predicted out would take place is Holland versus Wales. I think that's going to be a very easy Dutch win. So they'll be going through to the round of 16. Argentina will beat Denmark. England will beat Senegal. France will beat Mexico. Mexico will not get to that 5th game for another World Cup. And then Germany will beat Belgium. Brazil will beat Uruguay. Spain will get Croatia. No Croatian revenge for the last Euros. And then I also think that Portugal will beat Switzerland as well. So I don't think there's anything really controversial.
Our predictions aren't too dissimilar, are they?
Yeah. So now we get on to the quarterfinals where things might get a little bit controversial. Zach, who is going through to the semi-finals?
So, Argentina against the Netherlands. I think we all can agree it's going to be Argentina. Yes, the Netherlands team are a good side, but if you look at top, do they have that cutting edge to keep going all the way through to the semis? No. This is Messi's World Cup, and I think they'll beat the Netherlands. The next one, Germany-Brazil. This is a close match because everybody seems to write off Germany because they didn't do too well at the last 2 major tournaments. But I'm going to go with Brazil still. Brazil are littered with talent, especially in that attacking third. Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Neymar, Antony, Rafinha. Even in the midfield, they got top talent too, and also in central defence. So I think they'll beat Germany. England, France. So you're all hoping for me to say an England win, but I think this is where our journey comes to an end. I think France will win. Everybody seems to write France off because of all that World Cup rubbish that they seem to lose, get knocked out the year after they win it, or the tournament after they win it. But I still think France will go through. They're a better squad than England. I think they've got a lot better players than England, and I still think they'll beat us. And then the final one, Spain-Uruguay. This one may be quite controversial because a lot of people will probably say Spain. They're the team who've won more trophies. They've got all of the glitz and the glamour. But I am going to go with Uruguay. If you look at Uruguay's squad, they've got Araujo at centre-back, alongside, I think it's that guy from Napoli, Alvarez or something. Oliveira. Yeah, they got those two in defence. Bentancur in midfield. Federico Valverde. They've got that Jimenez guy who can play in defence as well. They've got Cavani, Suarez, Nunez, and they got that goalkeeper, I think, Muslera or something.
He's been around for ages.
Exactly. I think they've got a good team. I think they will edge Spain this tournament.
That is controversial. So, for my quarter-final predictions, obviously the first game I've gone for Holland versus Argentina, and I'm going to go for an Argentina win in that one. I just think Argentina are just a bit better than the Dutch at the minute. I think that, the Dutch can put up a good fight against Argentina, but I'm sorry, there's no way that they're losing in the quarterfinals when it's Messi's last World Cup. Exactly. They've got a lot of momentum behind them, and I think they'll certainly be up there, let's just say that. And then, obviously, we've got Germany versus Brazil. Is this the first time they've met since the demolition in 2014?
It might be.
It might be the first time. It is a chance for Brazil to get their revenge, and you know what? I'd back them to if, obviously, Germany played against Brazil. I think Brazil, very similarly to Argentina, are a team who've got a lot of momentum behind them. As Zach was saying earlier, they are stacked with talent in that team. Obviously, on the wings in particular, Vinicius Junior, Neymar, Gabi Martinelli, Rafinha, Antony, Rodrigo. They are just completely stacked. So I'm going to go with Brazil to beat Germany in the quarterfinals. Then, obviously, similarly to Zach, I've got England to be facing France. This is an interesting clash because I think you've got two teams who both really struggle to know what their best team is, what their best 11 is, and it's not an easy one to predict, I don't think.
It's not too easy, but
I'm going to disappoint a lot of people here. Maybe it's not a surprise to some, but I'm going to say that the French will knock us out. England will get knocked out in the quarterfinals. Yeah. Not coming home this time. I'm sorry, lads. And then we've also got Spain versus Portugal. Little Iberian derby there. But I'm actually going to go with Portugal to go through against Spain, which might be interesting. I don't know. I just have a feeling that Portugal might do all right at this tournament. I don't know. I mean, it's very similarly to Argentina. It's Ronaldo's last ever World Cup. I think this is his 5th, which might be like the joint record alongside Pele. And I think that they'll do all right this time. I think they will actually beat Spain. I just think they've got that bit better firepower up top, which will propel them over the line. Now, for the semi-finals, this is where things might get really controversial. Zach, who are you going with? Who is going to be in the final of the World Cup?
Wow. Argentina versus Brazil is probably the tightest match in the tournament. you could give a case for either one, but I'm just going to go with Argentina. Messi's last World Cup, Argentina are littered with attacking talent. Julian Alvarez, Paulo Dybala, Lautaro Martinez, got Rodrigo de Paul in the midfield. Enzo Fernandez been brilliant for Benfica this season. And their defence is good too. You've got Romero and you've got other top quality defenders in that team. So I think they'll just edge out on Brazil, but it will be tough because if you look at that Brazil attack, it is immense and it could cause the Argentina defence problems. And then we move over to France versus Uruguay. And as much as I've been hyping up Uruguay, I think this is where their tournament comes to the end. I think France just have too much firepower in attack, and France's defence is arguably the best in the tournament when you look at them. Yes, there is a lot of inexperience in there, but they're all quality players. Kanate, brilliant. Saliba, brilliant. Lucas Hernandez and Theo Hernandez, two very good players. Varane. And I think France will go through alongside Argentina, and that will be the final.
Now, for my semi-final predictions, similarly to Zach, I've gone with Argentina versus Brazil for the semi-finals. Now, this is going to cause a lot of controversy, whichever side I predict to go to the final. You know what? This is a very, very, very tough one, I think. Obviously, Argentina, Copa America champions, Leo Messi and the team. They've been playing excellently recently, got so much momentum behind them. But then on the other hand, you have Brazil, who were the runners-up of that game last year where Argentina won 1-0. And again, very similarly to Argentina, got a lot of momentum behind them. But I'm going to disagree with Zach. I'm going to say Brazil are going to get to the final of this World Cup. I just think that with Brazil, they just seem to have a lot more firepower that's there. I feel like Argentina, like they're a little bit more, I don't know, workmanlike perhaps. And I reckon Brazil will probably have a lot more of the ball. I think, you know, that's not a particularly controversial take. Brazil probably do have, you know, better technical players, I'd say.
Yeah.
And Argentina will probably, you know, just try and sit back, hit them on the counter-attack, I'd imagine, with the amount of quality that Brazil have. You know, it's obviously a sensible idea to do that. But yeah, I just think Brazil will just edge it. They'll do it after extra time, I reckon. This one, if this game obviously happens, I reckon is going to be a classic that we'll, you know, remember for ages. But I'm going to back Brazil to go through. And then obviously we've got France versus Portugal. You know, two teams who obviously met in the final of Euro 2016 a few years back. Remember when Eder scored that?
Yeah, he lives off that goal.
Belter of a goal. But yeah, I'm going to say France will beat Portugal. I just think they're a bit better than Portugal. Ronaldo will, you know, bow out of the World Cup without ever winning it, which will obviously be pretty sad for him. But yeah, I think France versus Portugal, maybe a bit of a less controversial take to go with France in that one. Okay, so now people, we have got the World Cup final. Obviously Zach has gone for Argentina versus France. I've gone for Brazil versus France. Zach, out of Argentina and France, who is going to be lifting that Jules Rimet trophy at the end of December?
Well, a lot of you may think, how have France got this far? And you are probably right, because that's where their journey is going to stop. Yes, I would love Kanate to win the World Cup for France. And obviously France have won it twice, Argentina won it twice, but Argentina are going to pull through. Listen to this. Lionel Messi, Paulo Dybala, Julian Alvarez, Emiliano Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, Angel Di Maria, Rodrigo de Paul, Lautaro Martinez, Romero, Alex McAllister from Brighton, Enzo Fernandez from Benfica, and Papu Gomez. These are all top quality players. And yes, France, they do have a lot of good players in that team. Their defence is solid, their attack is good, but will that inexperience in the central areas of the pitch, without Pogba and Kante, will that cost them? Yes, they got this far to the final, so obviously I think they're a good team. But Messi will get his hands on his first World Cup trophy, and Argentina will win the whole competition.
For me, obviously we've got Brazil and France. This one's going to be incredibly tight. Two world-class teams stacked with talent. But I'm going to go with Brazil. They are going to lift their first ever World Cup since 2002, that Korea-Japan game where they beat Germany in the final. I just think that it's Brazil's time this year. They've got an excellent squad, got so much momentum behind them, and I just think that they'll have a bit too much for France. I reckon this game will go to extra time, but Brazil, we shouldn't forget, have got absolutely outstanding depth on the wings in attack. They've got so many explosive players to bring on, whilst I think France, you know, they've got a little bit less. I know that they do have players like, obviously, Ousmane Dembele to bring off the bench
Griezmann.
and everything. Well, Griezmann will probably start, but yeah, I think that Brazil will have too much for France this time around. They're going to win the World Cup, and Neymar will get his hands on that Jules Rimet trophy in Qatar. Okay, people, so there are our World Cup predictions. As I said before, make sure to leave your predictions down in the comments section below. And also, while you're at it, make sure to like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, and follow Zach's Instagram,
LFC
Fan Channel.
Yep, that's it.
Links to that will be in the description down below. And yeah, I hope you have all enjoyed this video. Obviously, we're going to be out now, so see you later, lads.
See you later.
Have a good one.